Over the past few weeks, we've brought you several stories about the various points along our nation's food supply chain, from the empty grocery shelves to Americans lined up at food banks to the farmers who are burying and dumping their goods. All are impacted tremendously by this pandemic. But one of the first parts of this chain, we're talking about farm workers, those essential workers who remain in the fields picking our fruits and vegetables. So what's being done to keep them safe? Joining us now is someone who's dedicated her life's work to the rights of labor workers and co-founded the United Farm Workers, Dolores Huerta. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, Dolores. What are you hearing from farm workers as far as their safety and what their most pressing issues are right now?
Well, farm workers are essential workers. They're on the front lines and they're working every single day out there to keep feeding the nation, but they are not being protected. Unfortunately, they're not wearing masks. It's very difficult for them to do the social distancing when they're working out there in the field. And so we feel that they're being very neglected. We have had farm workers that have died of the virus. We have had people, there were 4 workers in Colorado in a packing shed, in a meat packing shed there that died also. And so we see that the farm workers need a lot more attention. And unfortunately, in many states throughout the United States of America, they are not covered by unemployment insurance. They're not covered by disability insurance. They have very weak workers' compensation protections for them when they do get hurt. And these are the invisible people, and we've got to remember who they are. Only California, I believe in Hawaii, and maybe New York State now, gives farm workers even that type of protection of disability insurance and unemployment insurance. So, and in many states like Texas, you know, they have very weak health care that will protect them when they get ill. So these are like our invisible workers that really we depend on every single day when we sit down to eat. You know, millions of farm workers throughout the United States of America that are not given the protection that they need.
Yeah, we're hoping to give them some visibility tonight. And you mentioned this a moment ago, talking about the health care. But what are the options that the majority of these workers have if they do get sick? And are there efforts to get them some hazard pay potentially?
Well, they definitely deserve hazard pay. We know that the agricultural industry was given $19 billion as part of the stimulus package. And we hope that they will share some of that money with their workers and give these workers hazard pay, while at the same time, the Trump administration is trying to reduce the wages of farm workers as we speak. These are the farm workers that come into our country, but that will have also a very damaging effect on the wages of the current farm workers. And when kids are also not at school, that means that one of the parents has to stay home with the children. So it compounds their difficulties and definitely has an impact on their income. And then we have a lot of undocumented farm workers that are also part of the food supply. And they, unfortunately, maybe except in California, are not going to be getting any kind of sustenance at all.
And President Trump just signed a stimulus bill that gave billions to the agriculture industry. How is agriculture going to share this money with the actual workers? And is there more that Congress could do in order to get resources directly to them?
Well, yes, absolutely. I think also under the emergency relief, a compensation that Congress is going to be giving out, that could go to some of our undocumented workers. And I think we have to appeal to the agricultural employers. Please share some of that money from the stimulus package with your workers, because they absolutely need it. It's embarrassing for our country to know that we have such a rich agricultural industry, but yet we have such deep poverty, especially the children of the families of farm workers. This is not fair, and this is a good time to correct it.
Dolores, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you joining us tonight.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.